Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca, and here on my little corner of the web I like to make budgeting videos and share about my life and my personal finances. And today I wanted to share my goals for this year. So we've just entered 2022 and I am really excited about everything we have planned for this year and what we're trying to do. But last year I shared my 2021 goals, and I'll link that up above. And we had some pretty big goals, and we've been able to achieve a lot of them, and not but not everything that we'd wanted, but we've done a lot of personal growth too. So looking ahead towards this year, some important things to note in our financial planning: we are currently debt free besides our mortgage. We had some student loans from my schooling, and at one point I had a car loan, but we paid that all off last year, which was a huge win for us. And then our next goal that we were working on was to finish our emergency fund to $10,000, and we hit that in December. So that was another huge win for us. And during that time, I also was able to quit a job that was kind of in a toxic workplace environment, and I was able to launch my own small business. I'm an event planner, and so I own my own company doing that. And it's been really incredible to be able to do that and to work for myself. So for 2022, we have some short-term and longer-term goals. So I've kind of listed them in order, but they're kind of some of them we're going to work on at the same time, and it's more of how much do we think we can get done, how much do we hope we can get done. But the number one thing that we at this point now have to work on is saving for a European travel trip over the summer. So save for European travel. We have already booked flights and Airbnbs for a summer in Europe. We are actually going to spend the entire months of June and July in Italy and Paris, and then we're going to visit some other places too. And travel is like really important to my husband and I, and it's just been something that we really wanted to do. And we've built our jobs around having the flexibility to do something like that. So we're going to test it out, see how it goes. I've never done a trip like that before. The longest I've been gone is 2 weeks, and that was to like North Carolina, and I've only ever been abroad for a week at a time. So I'm really excited. And I've never been to Europe. We wanted to go, we were planning to elope in Paris, but we got married in March of 2020, and so that was not possible. So this is my terrible drawing of the Eiffel Tower. Nope, but you get the picture. So we have already saved quite a bit, and we've been able to use some money from credits and vouchers that we had from our canceled trip to Paris in 2020 and some other canceled trips, but we want to save $6,000 for this. We actually think we only need $4,000. I've done the math in what we still need to book and pay for, just for Europe, and then we are also going to Belize for 2 weeks in February. So we're doing a lot of travel in 2022, and I just want to have the opportunity to travel a little more, or a little less frugally. All of the travel that I've done has been pretty frugal because that's just how we are, but sometimes it's hard to not be able to experience everything when you've paid so much to get there. So I want to give ourselves the freedom to spend more, and so we need to save this by May 30th, because that is the date we leave. And then the next goal is I'm going to call it 1A, because it's kind of separate. It's not as immediate, but it is like very important, and that is to support my business. Support Shoestring Flings. I have been trying to build up kind of some savings in there. The way that I've done like my paychecks, I pay myself. I'm finally at a place where I can pay myself, not very much, but about $500 a month now from weddings that I have booked so far, like right now at the beginning of the year. And I want to be able to invest more in that and not spend our personal money, but be able to spend my money that I'm making on that on marketing and bridal shows and things to get more business and more infrastructure in. So that is not really like a financial goal from our personal budget, but it is like a really top line item, because I think if we invest in this right now, we will see a huge return later. So there's no dollar amount attached to that. It's just something that I wanted to share, as it is very exciting for us and a big goal in our house. And then so the next goal, which is definitely a long-term goal, and this is something that we were not able to do in 2021, is to do 10% towards retirement. So that was definitely our goal, and I honestly thought that we would hit our emergency fund at $10,000 way more quickly than we did. But because I quit my job, we were just not able to do that, which is totally okay. But so we have not quite hit this yet. We've definitely been contributing more. I would say probably 7 or 8%. And I know that you're supposed to do 15%, but we are planning to do 10%, and here's why. That's Roth IRAs for both Jared and I. But our third goal, which I have not talked about on this channel because it has just kind of become an option and a possibility for us, but we want to save money for a studio apartment or additional dwelling unit in our backyard. So so the backstory in this is that my husband's father is an architect and has recently kind of maybe beginning a business venture with someone who wants to build these additional dwelling units, and offered to build one for us for just the cost of the materials and not charge us for labor, kind of as like a test. And we have always, so currently our house, and I'll link up above our house tour, but our house only has 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom. So it is not very conducive to growing a family or doing anything else in our space. So currently the second bedroom is my office, which I use to meet with my clients for my business in, and then Jared works in the laundry room. He has a desk in there, and that is not sustainable long term. As soon as we have a child, we're going to need the second bedroom. And we've always wanted to add on to this house because we really love the location, and we don't know that we'll be able to afford something else in the location, but we've also always been really interested in real estate investment. So what we wanted to do was buy a house, buy another house downtown that's bigger, live there and rent this one out, but we don't actually know that we're going to be able to do that. So we thought that this might be a good opportunity to have a secondary space that can be used for guests, could be used for office space for me if we need it, and could also be rented out as an Airbnb to bring in some income, like another stream of income, and to add to our assets and be a source of growth in retirement. So yes, we want to save 15% towards retirement, but we're kind of looking at that like 10% towards our Roth IRAs and 5% towards like a long-term real estate investment that could support us in retirement. And we are hoping that, we live in a cute downtown area, and it's recently becoming more of a destination. So we're hoping that, by this year or next year, it would be a popular spot for Airbnb, and so a desirable thing for us to have. So we don't know the full numbers on this yet, but we think it's going to cost around $25,000 to build. So our thought process here is save as much as we can and then see how much we need to take out possibly as a loan. And I hate to do that because we are debt free, but we're looking at it as the same way that we would look at as taking out a mortgage for a new place, and we absolutely would not be saving for another rental property in full cash. So that's kind of how we're seeing it, but we do want to save as much as possible. So we're hoping by the end of the year we can have a good chunk of that amount saved. So those are kind of in tandem goals. And then number 4, so this is also not something I've talked about on the channel, but my husband, as I just said, his father is an architect and he does draftsman work for his dad. And that is actually a really big source of income for us. But he is considering and leaning towards going to get his master's in architecture so that he could take over that business when his dad retires and be an architect. He really loves all the draftsman work that he does, and he gets to design things, and that's really fun for him. So a goal for us is to save for grad school. And this is definitely a longer term goal, and it's much more of a investment in ourselves and in his potential earning. And we don't know how much we will need in total because it definitely depends on how many grants and scholarships he could get, but we're thinking that the total cost is going to be around $35,000. And that's just from a quick search from a school near us that we could possibly send him to. But we're thinking here that maybe he would start next fall or maybe in January of 2023, but that we would spread it out over, it's a 3-year course full time, but that we would spread it out over 6 years. So we would need $35,000 total, but we would not need that before he starts. We could do semester by semester. So that's something that you'll probably see added as a line item to our budget starting in the summer when we get back from Europe. as well as a studio apartment. We don't know when we're going to do that because we still are trying to get a quote for how much it's going to be, and that will, help us determine when we can realistically do that. And then so these are kind of like in a row goals, and then our next goal, which I hate to even put this on here because I just have felt like a huge sense of relief right now in finishing our emergency fund to $10,000. So currently we have $10,000, but we also keep $3,500 as a buffer in our checking account. So it's really like we have emergency funds of $13,500 because we do not touch the checking account buffer. We pretend it's not there, but it just helps us feel safer. But because we are so self-employed, I really want to have more saved in case something happens. I know it's very uncertain, and we've been very blessed to have consistent good income over the past year and a half, but we don't know. So I want to be able to, I want to get it up to $25,000 because I think that that would be a safer number for us, especially when we start a family. But I'm just taking it in chunks right now so that we can work on other more pressing goals because I think $10,000 is a pretty safe amount right now. So the next goal is to get our emergency fund to $15,000. So we would need to add $5,000 to get it there, and we'll see when that happens and if that happens next year. And then another goal that is kind of after that, this is honestly just dependent on when we need this, but Jared needs a new car at some point. So new car for Jared. His car is from 2003. So at this point in 2022, it is 19 years old. And it runs very well, and we don't have any problems with it, but I know that at some point, we will start to have problems with it. And we both have smaller hatchbacks. I drive a Prius. He drives a Mercedes. Neither of them are good family cars. So I think that our next car will need to be a family car. So that's something that we just need to keep on the horizon. I'm thinking probably it's something we want to do in cash. And I'd like to keep it around $15,000. I know that that's a little bit harder now because the price of used cars has just gone through the roof. But I think we could absolutely get something reasonable for that. So it's just something I'm adding to our list of maybe we start this as a sinking fund for next year. But we're not actively going to be looking for another car until the wheels fall off of this one. So those are all of our like kind of bigger financial goals for 2022. I don't know, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know how the year is going to go. But consistently every year we've made more income. And so I am hopeful that that is the case. And, we just try to be the best stewards of the money that God has provided us with. So we give faithfully and we trust that He will continue to provide for us. So, any amount of these things that we're able to do, we would be, beyond thrilled to accomplish. So that is our comprehensive list of everything we've got going on for this upcoming year. I'm really excited, especially for our trip to Europe, and that we are just able to do that. So let me know down in the comments what your 2022 goals are, financial or otherwise, and I will see you guys later. Bye.